Hello, I'm C, and I'm astonished that the video I'm responding to has had more than 2 million views. The most terrifying video in your life, apparently. Not. The video and the logic used in the show is reflective of an idiotic society that listens to morons who draw square boxes and put smiley faces in them and say, you better choose this bottom box because it's got the smiley face in it. In all reality, there is no global warming threat. I'm sitting here freezing my butt off. We've had some of the lowest temperatures in history for decades. What is really going on is the deception that has been here for some time. Thomas Jefferson said that we should have a separation of church and state. If you go to church, that's 1 hour a week. However, school and state, Jefferson didn't even bother saying there's no way in hell you can let the state educate you. All you're going to have is a bunch of morons and fools from state school. And that's what reflected in this video and the logic employed by drawing four little square boxes, putting smiley faces in them and saying, oh, we got to go in this bottom box. Because, well, the other alternatives are vastly too horrific. In all reality, the bunch of morons that are pushing this global warming issue are either working for the bank or they're just plain stupid. We do not have a global warming problem. If you're worried about the earth and the environment, here's some factors you should consider. Number one, the third worst ecological disaster ever, which makes driving around in automobiles look ridiculous, is the 18 million gallons of Agent Orange the United States Air Force dumped on Vietnam. That's right, 18 million gallons of deadly poison, which is now going to wash into the ocean, perhaps killing about a quarter of life in the ocean itself. Number two world's worst ecological disaster is the 2,000 tons of nuclear waste the United States of America has blasted into the Gulf region after they're stupid enough to attack Iraq when the government told them that Saudi Arabians blew up their World Trade Center by flying planes into it. 2,000 tons of nuclear waste. That's right, they take machined nuclear power rods, turn them into bullets, and blast them into tanks. They call it DU. Depleted uranium is about 60% as reactive as regular uranium used in power plants, like the 3 Mile Island area. This, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the world's worst ecological disasters. The half-life of that depleted uranium is 4.5 billion years. Let's get real. Number one, hitting the charts at the worst ecological disaster ever in history, is Al Gore's New World Order's chemtrails. Look up into the sky over almost every metropolitan area in the world, and you will see jets flying by, leaving a vapor trail, a white vapor trail. Now, a normal contrail from vapor dissipates in about 5 minutes. These chemtrails you'll see up there, sitting there for about an hour or longer. We've had scientists put petri dishes out and catch what's coming down. They're spraying us with a mixture of primary barium, which attacks your immune system, which is linked in with the swine flu. And by the way, swine flu is as dangerous or as deadly as falling out of bed. Statistically, you have as much chance of dying from falling out of bed as you do from falling out of swine flu. Maybe you need to consider who's giving you messages, what their brain capacity is, and what the hell is going on in this world. Because it's really simple. Take anyone in your neighborhood, give them a printer, and tell them to print as much money as they want. Within no time, they're going to own all the judges, all the politicians, including Al Gore, all the courts, all the cops, the corporations, the military, and your home and children too. Because that's exactly what happened. In 1913, the United States of America was betrayed by Woodrow Wilson, and they handed their money supply over to the Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank is a private bank. They make money out of nothing. The reason we went to war with Iraq had nothing to do with oil. What happened in Iraq was Saddam Hussein stopped selling his oil in US dollars. Now, say you were Japanese and you want to go and buy some oil from Saddam Hussein. You'd first have to knock on the Federal Reserve Bank's door and say, excuse me, Mr. Rothschild, I would like to buy $1 billion of your dollars. And the Rothschilds would make $1 billion of assets with each oil sale. Got nothing to do with the United States of America. So when Saddam Hussein stopped selling his oil in US dollars, it meant that each $1 billion of oil that was sold, they were no longer the sale of $1 billion of dollars by the Rothschilds who own the Federal Reserve Bank. That's why we went to war with Iraq. That's why we went to war with Germany. That's why communism existed. The Federal Reserve Bank formed all of these issues, all of these problems, all of these ecological disasters. There is no global warming. What is happening, we're moving into the new renaissance. And this very medium that we're looking at right now is just the same as the printing presses which brought about the first renaissance, out of which the United States was born. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what is going to save us. Not morons telling us that there's global warming. There is no global warming. But there is a bank that's out of control who's hired politicians and owns all the media, all the corporations, and all the military. Until we get rid of the Federal Reserve Bank and their private fiat monetary system, we're not going to have a peaceful world ever. Furthermore, it's these bankers who caused the world's worst ecological disasters ever. Let's get real, folks. I am Clive. Get hold of me at c at Liberty for Life, libertyforlife.com. I'll see ya.